What's going on, guys, and welcome back to our Surviving Java series. Yep, it's been a fair while since I've done any recording. I've been doing a lot of building, mainly in creative, just testing out different designs and working on different projects like in the background, but I've done absolutely no recording in a while. Probably just because I had a really bad week where I was down with a fever of over 100. And I was dying for, like, that sort of lingered on for the second week, and then yeah, that on top of uni work sort of just took up all of my time, and any time that I was on, I did not have my voice with me enough in order to be able to record. But nevertheless, we are back and hopefully be able to be recording again now without any major interruptions. This area is a slime chunk. I really don't know what to do about it because I don't know how to block them. To stop them from spawning up. Well, I do know how to block them, but I don't know how to do it in a way that's not going to make the ground look like crap, because we can button the entire area or we can carpet the entire area, but that is not going to make it look great. So I'm not too sure how to stop them, and it's always this little section in here and in here. I tried to get rid of most of the spawns in here by buttoning, but you can see this isn't even the entire floor button. This is just stopping the bigger ones from spawning, and it doesn't look fantastic, so I don't really want to do that all the way around. But nevertheless, a couple of things that have changed. Me and Sai spent a very long time collecting sculpt blocks, and we've covered the entire ceiling in sculpt blocks and then invisible item frames with nether stars in, so that way we get this like twinkling star effect going across the ceiling, which I really like. So thank you, Sai, for actually helping me do that. It would have taken me 3 times as long if I didn't have someone here helping me. Oh, stupid bats keep on spawning. I've also expanded our shulker loaders. You guys, do stop. I've expanded our shulker loaders, so we've got 2 more, like another unit or 2 here, and we've got 1 set up for our dyes. So our dye box can just be easily restocked and refilled each time we're running low. I'm only having white wool in my dye box, so that way if I do need a certain colour of bed or carpet, I can just dye it using the dye that's in a dye box, rather than having like try to have another shulker for all the different colours of wool just for that purpose, because I don't tend to use wool or carpets all that much. Guys, leave me alone. I don't know which one to do next. I may do my wood one in order to use this one, because these are proving to be extremely handy when it comes for saving time on loading stuff up. But I thought today we can do a couple of quality of life upgrades. Now there's one of the issues where getting in and out of here is just, getting in isn't too bad, but getting out, I either have to fly directly up from here, which is a little bit annoying, or I have to go through the nether portal into Sai's nether portal and then fly out from hers, or I have to take the really long route, which is go up this stairs, down a hallway, up a bubble elevator, come out into a tree trunk, up another bubble elevator to then come out at the base of the tree. So yeah, it's not ideal. So what I'm thinking is that we can set up a sort of enderpearl launcher that will launch us just directly up to the surface, and that shouldn't be too difficult to set up, so I'm hoping it shouldn't actually take that much time. And we have actually got an area that's free of obstructions going up, which is somewhere around in this wall. So if we go into like free cam mode, if we look here, we've got like a straight shot up, and it's not going to be intersecting with any sort of hallways, railway tracks, or anyone else's build sort of thing. So if we have it set up for here, and then it can sort of come along here, and then sort of an elevator thing that brings the enderpearl up around here ish, should hopefully be how we could get it to work. And to be honest with you, I've not tested this in creative at all, so I don't know how far along it needs to be before the enderpearl stops bouncing along. So what we're going to want to do is, let's say, bring this down by 1. Let's do that. We want it long enough that the enderpearl will stop going along in this direction, ready enough for it to go up. So let's say like so. And then we're going to want our bucket of water going away. Water comes along there. we're going to want probably another bucket of water. In fact, we're just going to want a bunch of, say, ice. Will probably make this process go a lot quicker. Thank you. And then we're going to want some soul sand as well. Soul sand should be in here. Thank you. Happy days. It's so good when everything's organised. It doesn't take like nearly all that much time in order to get the bits and pieces that we need. So if we go, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then break you. So this is now flowing water, which means if we break this, like so, and let me first of all break this as well. That way the top of the water is still flowing in that direction, and then we're going to have to break yet another row in order to get our soul sand in. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then break these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously we haven't got bubbles yet because the water underneath it isn't source blocks. So let me go and make it so. Okay, we're gonna have to make this extend again. Just so it's flowing water again. And then we're going to want some more ice here. But this is just like a concept I've got in my head. I've done no actual testing as to whether or not this is going to work. Okay. So with the bubble columns going up like that, I'm hoping that if I throw an ender pearl, the bubble column should stop it from... Oh, come on. Maybe I need to drop the soul sand down. Oh. So it's still moving along. But it has to be at quite the angle to not hit the floor. So what I may do is drop these down by another couple of blocks and then extend it a little bit further. Because we want the motion of it going this way. Although with the water flowing this way, maybe if we didn't have the water flowing at this end section, that wouldn't be an issue. So then if we, oh my god, this is not going to be easy. Do that, let's do that. Hopefully that may work. Let me grab a, we should have actually a shulker full of ender pearls in one of these boxes. Where are you? There. Just for testing purposes. Okay. So if we were to say, put that down to there, is it going to keep on moving? Okay, so that's actually working out. Oh no, it did actually get all the way to the end. So maybe if we extend it just by like one further. Oh my god, this is so annoying trying to mine. Say just on the off case, do it by 3 further. That. Do this. And then we want 3. Stop it. 2, 3. Okay, so yeah, that does the trick, and that's stopping what, around about here. But then to be on the safe side, I think I want it to be these two. So what we can do, okay, thanks for that. What I can do is just block this one up here and say these 2 blocks are the ones that I want to dig all the way down and bring our water elevator all the way here. Dude, you can stop. So from here and all the way up to here, which is 4192 Yeah, so let me dig it all the way up to the surface and put the actual elevator in, and I'll bring you back to see if it's going to actually work the way I'm hoping it's going to work. Alright, so I've managed to get the elevator in place, and I've put lily pads up there at the moment to see if that would work. You do have to sort of aim it just around about the line where the water goes down. So around there should hopefully take it up. And the idea of this is that I'm able to then sort of block this in a little bit and maybe just have like a trap door here. So it should hit the lily pad once it gets to the top and then teleport us up there. That's the idea. Oh, there we go. And then we're on top of the lily pads, which is a nice convenient way of getting up and down. Well, up basically. I need to now create a way or think of a way of getting back down easier. Maybe a similar system, but I don't know how to do it that we can get back down. Obviously we can't get down the elevator going up. If you're wondering, well, if I've built the elevator there, why can't I just use that? Well, because that's not fun, okay? And I didn't really think of it until I was putting the elevator in. Well, let's just use our rockets to get over here now that the rain has stopped. Okay, so that is now working as intended. To think of a way to get back down, though, is another question. What we can do actually is a brick queue. Have we got any like grey dye anywhere? Grey. Thank you. Buy you grey. And then we're going to want... No trapdoors even remotely look grey, do they? Can I do about that then? Oh wow. A couple of you. So if we want to just go right queue there, put our ender pearl box in the wall just there, so that way we've always got ender pearls on hand where we need them. But I don't want this completely open. Maybe I'll just use like some of the mangrove trapdoors. Like, can I get away with that? And then you just aim below the line. Like if I throw it from here, do you reckon that will work? If that will work, then that will be fine for me. Oh, it does actually go up the elevator. Whether or not it's going to hit the side before it gets to the lily pads or not is another question. But we will find out. It does take an awful long time for it to get up there. Do apologise for my phone. I try to keep it on mute when I remember. It does really take a long time, like obscenely long time, for it to get up to the top. I can sort of throw that and wander off and go do other bits and pieces. Why has it not hit the lily pad yet? Is it bouncing like directly in between the lily pads? Is the only thing I can think of that's happened. Let's try a different angle. That's going to be a little bit of a flaw in the plan if it's like bouncing in between lily pads. Oh, okay. How? How is this even possible? Oh my god, like the hitbox of lily pad is 1 pixel and somehow that ender pearl is in that 1 pixel gap. That's such bullcrap. Can we... I don't even know how to circumvent that. If I had like a sign there, it's now stuck underneath the sign. That should surely activate the ender pearl. don't get it. Do that. Okay. So you don't need lily pads, you just need the water to be flowing. So if that happens on either side, if we then go, say, put you there, and then do that, that way it will flow on either side. If it comes up and hits that 1 pixel gap, it will sort of flow off into the edge and will still end up on top, which is happy days. I will need to build like a little structure around here, probably around this tree, just like a little pagoda type structure, just to indicate that this is where we're coming up from. And then where can we actually, what's a more convenient place in order to drop an ender pearl down in order to get to our storage room from up top? Food. So I would really like to be able to block up this hole, because a couple of people have actually died trying to get down to my base in this way. I've almost died a couple of times. I've not actually died. I think I got down to like a heart and a half once by coming down there. So that is what I can find. Do you think I'll... I don't know. Let me have a think, and once I think of something, and I'm just going to knock it out and just get it in place, and then once it's in place I'll bring you back and show you what I've done. This I'm going to be umming and ahhing as to where I want the ender pearls to come down and where it is I want to be spawning back down into my base, which means it's going to be a sort of way of trying to get the ender pearl of where I want to throw it down to where I want it to actually end up landing. It's going to be the tricky bit, and it's going to be a lot of figuring out, because there's a lot of stuff that's dotted around in the area that I don't want to run into, especially the redstone, so I've got to be careful with that. So yeah, I guess I'll catch you back in a sec. Alright, so I think I've managed to got it sorted. I initially was planning on having it drop down so I would land here in front of our actual sorter, but then it was going to be intersecting with a load of things and it would have been a hell of a lot more complicated, which means where it was on the surface wasn't lining up with anything whatsoever, and it was just going to be another random spot. I'd have to build something else. So I decided to have it so the down and the up shoots coming out and in at the same point. So this is obviously the up shoot, and if we go and get our ender pearls on us, and let's just say throw one of you in there, hopefully that makes this way all the way down there. So that then goes all the way up the elevator. I thought it would move a lot quicker up the elevators than they do, but yeah, we have actually got a wandering trader up there. And then it comes all the way up to here. Now, because obviously it's out of render range, it shouldn't... Oh, okay, so it does show. So then we're up here, and then we can go to our down one. You just have to face directly down, and it should work. This is only the second time I'm testing it, so we will see. So it comes down here, and then I've got a staircase of soul sand, where it sort of bounces along, which I wasn't sure if it was going to work or not. I thought it was just going to hit that bottom block, but it didn't. And hopefully there should be water flowing. Or have I found a problem? I think I need to get a water source in this section here to make it flow down that way. Yeah, I think last time I threw it was down on this one where the water was already flowing from, but it's obviously not flowing from this one. So yeah, that's another problem that I need to now circumvent and try to fix. Let's go down in here. Like I said, very, very minimal testing. This is just an idea that I had before I hit record. So whether or not it was going to work or not was another thing. Not you. We want you. So if we go place you there. Is that going to create flowing water coming across? No, it's not, is it? So if we were to have, say, a sign blocking off this water from dropping all the way down, and then that's going to be flowing water, do you reckon that will work? Ow. So clearly that block can't be there. let's get our ender pearls, head on back up. You can see if that works. So we want to be on the higher negative side and throw it down just to make sure that it does work on that other side. Because now my worry is because it's going to be dropping through that air gap, it's going to be going too quickly and it may hit it may sort of battle the soul sand. Higher negative side, which is this side here. Oh, I want to go down. We can see how this one behaves. Like it may just drop straight down and hit the soul sand and make me teleport up to here. Oh, no it didn't. And then it's making its way down the staircase. Over to where we want to teleport. Boop. And now we're here. Happy days. So now it's just a case of me figuring out a little bit of a structure to build up the top there. Let's throw all of this stuff in our sorter. We have got Steve down here making sure that everything feeds through fine. Hello Steve. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is quickly get the resources together, build like just a little pagoda type style building around that little teleporter in and out section. I'm going to see if there's any way of me tidying up this at all. I don't know how to make it look better without it getting in the way of the ender pearls from doing what I want them to do. But yeah, we'll jump into a quick time lapse of me building this little pagoda style type deal thing. So yeah, catch you back in a sec. Alright, so building is now done. We should actually stop that recording. So what I've done is sort of just try my best to keep it in with the theme of the area. Like we've got this bridge built right next to it, so I wanted to stick with the sort of block palette. So we've got the jungle wood, which is the base of our lights that's leading up that way, and then we've got a lot of the actual jungle wood planks being used. So I've decided to use that for the roofs, the jungle logs as the sturdy trunk, what are they called? Supporting beams or structures, whatever it is. And then I've got the mossy cobblestone and mossy stone bricks, as well as some andesite, just for foundational support of the fencing going around. Got some hanging lanterns, some glow berries growing down, and then I've done like a little bit of a canopy of just some jungle leaves, just sort of encroaching over the top of it. We do still need to plant some more of our jungle trees back around this area here, because I did clear out a lot of them when I was making room for the pathways and stuff, and obviously it is lacking a lot of jungle trees like this area here as well. Also needs to be replanted, but I've just not got round to that just yet. Although it's not a bad time to start doing it, considering I no longer need to use string, which is what you can see, all of these random bits of white string, which was what I was using to stop the vines from growing. Now you can just right click with shears to stop them from growing. But nevertheless, hopefully you like the way that it looks. It sort of matches the area and the theme of the area. What else can I fit in here? Nothing apparently. Let me then go down below and we can empty our inventory out. So we've just got some little fences on either side, and that way we can come face directly down, grab our ender pearl and just throw that down. Hopefully it actually works and I don't end up glitching into a wall and killing myself. But yeah, that's going to take a second to go down. I am liking the way, and I do like working on little bits and pieces. Now initially I was hoping to have something like big planned for episode 50, which this episode is. But because I've had such a gap from recording, and there's loads of little bits and pieces that I want to sort of, there we go, that I want to sort of work on, and I'm sort of neglecting working on because I was hoping to be able to think of something big. And although there's a good few projects in the works that are very big, and just like our last project that we've done, I wanted to have a bit of a break from it, because spending like nearly 60 to 70 hours on a build, and that's not including the resource gathering or the designing phase, it's insane, and I've just not got that amount of time. So I thought I'd do these little projects. I'm going to start recording more of these little projects that I'm doing on the side of things, like our little enderporter and our little pagoda style building up there. That way I can actually get sort of more episodes out, and you're not missing too much. So when I'm going around the world and there's different little bits and pieces that I'm using, and you're wondering, well, I don't remember watching him or seeing him build that, and if you look back at my videos and you can't find me having built that, it does get a little bit annoying. So I find it annoying when I'm watching other people's series, and like they're using stuff, and then I flick back through all of their videos to see how they've built it and what they've done, and nowhere in their videos have they actually built it. So yeah, I thought I'd just start doing these little mini projects on camera rather than off camera. When it comes to stuff like the ceiling, the grindy stuff, I will probably still do that sort of stuff, like doing the pathways in between our builds in a jungle. Very repetitive, very boring, and there's no sort of technical know-how behind it, as opposed to these like enderporters. Having to figure it out and knowing how it works is definitely a key to the system. So yeah, I thought I'd do this one on camera. See, that one didn't work, but you know what, it got us to the elevator. Let's throw this up, because otherwise I'm just going to get stuck underneath the lily pad. There we go. Yeah, like I said, it's definitely not going to be 100% guaranteed. Depends exactly the angle that you threw it, like throw the ender pearl, and it's going to take a lot of getting used to for me. But hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode nonetheless. I sort of just lost my train of thought there, just sort of jibber jabbing to myself, and I just completely lost my train of thought. But yeah, nevertheless, hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode, and hopefully we can work on, because what I want to do is actually take this idea and take it even further, and try to set up these enderpearl portal things, but going from like my base over to size base, because I'm fairly sure size base is just about in, is it in render distance? Oh no, I may actually have to increase the simulation range on the server side. So I think it's at 10 chunks at the moment. So I may need to increase it in order to get over the size base. And then we can have like linked enderporters. So we can have one that leads to like over here. Then I throw another enderpearl over here to get the rest of the way, sort of thing. But I do want to sort of build on that. Or maybe use like chunk loaders. Could be a possible way of getting around that, in order to use the sort of enderpearl portal things, because I love using enderpearls. I've always got enderpearls on me because they're extremely handy and versatile. So finding more uses of them, like this sort of design, is definitely ideal for me. But nevertheless, hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode before I ramble on any longer, and hopefully I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.